Hi, in this short video I want to talk about 3 markers that you can use to know whether or not you are developing insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is that state of being that comes before things like diabetes. It makes weight loss difficult. It's a metabolic dysfunction, and we know, and we're learning more all the time to suggest that metabolic dysfunction is one of the underlying issues with a lot of chronic disease, like I mentioned with diabetes, even cancer and other things like that. So it's just this situation where you are taking in more carbohydrate than you need really to function is the kind of the gist of it. And especially those high glycemic carbohydrates that spike a release of insulin. So just very quickly, what are those 3 markers? The first one is your fasting glucose. And you've probably had this done on almost every blood test you've ever done. It's part of a comprehensive or a basic metabolic panel where you just are looking at how much sugar is floating around in your bloodstream at any given point in time. If you get one of those little finger stick meters, you can poke your finger and it'll spit out a number telling you how much glucose is in your bloodstream. If you have a continuous glucose meter, it does it a little different than blood. It uses interstitial fluid, but it's the same idea, how much sugar is floating around right now. And that's just a one-time snapshot. Then we look at hemoglobin A1C. It's the second marker we use when we're evaluating someone's blood sugar handling or insulin status. And that represents a 3-month snapshot of what your glucose has looked like over the past 3 months. So that is much more clarity around the glucose. It colors in that picture a little more. Now, it's very common to have the fasting glucose run, but unless that is out of range or keeps trending high, most doctors won't recommend or look at the A1C because insurance doesn't support that. It says if everything's good on your glucose, let's not look at that. But I just don't know how you get clarity of if you're wanting the information to help yourself and to understand what's going on. I don't know how you know that without having that. So I do that on everybody. And then the third thing that it's very rarely done in traditional healthcare settings, but very much done in the functional world is a fasting insulin. And what we're looking at there is we're looking at what is the load on your pancreas to secrete insulin. Sometimes we can have high blood sugar and low insulin, which lets us know, there's a reason for your blood sugar being high, but it doesn't necessarily involve your pancreas and insulin resistance and things like that. Your liver is implicated in the control of blood sugar. So I see actually quite frequently people that have tried, they're on a super low carb diet, eating very clean, they're exercising, they're doing all the things they should be doing, and their A1C or their glucose is still high, and it's because there's another issue. So this helps even give more clarity around that. And then once you have that fasting insulin, you can start to calculate something called a HOMA-IR score or an insulin resistance score. And that just gives you a number, and under 1 is where you want to be. That means you're very sensitive to insulin. You're not starting that insulin resistant pattern. You start to get 1 to 2, and we start looking at, okay, now you're starting to get that pattern of insulin resistance. And once you hit 3, we go, you're full-blown insulin resistant. And that is the precursor to diabetes. And there are so many people with diabetes and even more that are undiagnosed. So it is a huge problem. And it's not, a lot of people think, oh, you wake up one day and you're diabetic, and until then there's nothing you can do. The truth is, if you know years ahead, you can get ahead of that and you can stop that. You're on a path, and the path leads to a diagnosis, but if you get in and you back that up and come back, you can reverse that while you still have a chance. So I think those 3 things are worth knowing, and I just wanted to share that with you. Whether you want to talk to your healthcare provider and get that ordered and figured out, or you want to talk to a functional doctor. And this is the kind of stuff I do in my practice. And you can visit my website, drjeni.com, drjeni.com. and check out, I have a link where if you want to talk to me about ordering these tests and how to get this analysis on yourself, we can do that. And then I also have some supplements that I've created that are designed to help with insulin resistance and blood sugar handling and weight loss and things like that. It's the weight loss pack if you're taking the quiz and sorting through that. So those are ways that I can help. This is a huge problem, and I want to spread the word. I want people to know about this so they're empowered to make good decisions and have the information to change their health.